All right, so moving on to the final segment, I'll be sharing my thoughts on Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou officially being announced. I cannot believe this is happening, but I'm going to break down my true opinion of how I feel of Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou officially happening in a boxing ring. So, what did I say a few weeks ago on the podcast, on the Combat Series? I said that Tyson Fury needs to be stripped of the WBC Heavyweight Championship. I said strip him. He's disrespecting the title, and he's doing it again, disrespecting the title, fighting Francis Ngannou, not defending the belt in this pro boxing fight. This fight between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou is actually taking place in October. He's going to go a whole entire year without defending the WBC Heavyweight Championship. You're disrespecting the title. The WBC is, in my opinion, is the most coveted championship in the sport of boxing. The heavyweight championship has been asleep all year long because the division revolves around Tyson Fury. He's one of the biggest draws in boxing. He's the heavyweight champion in the sport of boxing. The biggest draw that the UK has to offer is Tyson Fury. And when you have heavyweights in this division that unfortunately you can't make the big fights because Tyson Fury has to be a part of it one way or another with huge championship implications to it. It makes the heavyweight division in boxing look weak. And this is actually one of the strongest divisions in boxing. And it's a shame that Tyson Fury is holding up this division hostage as we speak. And I get it. This is, when you look at it on paper, it is something to look forward to. It is Tyson Fury, one of the greatest heavyweights of this division. You have Francis Ngannou, who was one of the biggest names in UFC, a great UFC heavyweight champion in his own respective right. He was known for having his own dominant hands in that octagon. But casuals who will say this is a big fight. And when I say casuals, I talk about casuals that don't really care about the sport of boxing. They just tune in when the big names fight. For diehard fans like myself, and plenty of you guys out there watching and listening, this hurts. This is something you don't want to see. This is something that is a waste of time because Tyson Fury could be fighting the other big names in the heavyweight division. Instead, he's wasting his time on a former UFC employee and Francis Ngannou. And I really stand on what I said a few weeks ago. Tyson Fury should be stripped of the WBC heavyweight title because he's holding up the whole entire heavyweight division in boxing. He's not doing the things that he's supposed to. And the fact that he's gotten a pass from the WBC commission saying that they're not going to strip him of the WBC title, he's okay to fight Francis Ngannou because the commissioners have said, oh, he's tried to get a fight with Alexander Usyk, or he's tried to get a fight with Anthony Joshua. He outbidded both of them in order to duck both of them. Not to fight the two biggest heavyweights that the sport has to offer outside of Deontay Wilder, who he's already beat twice. But still, this is not okay. You can't get a pass from not fighting the best of the best in their own respective sport in the heavyweight division. Oh, we're just going to give him a pat on the back, a round of applause to fight Francis Ngannou in a boxing ring, a former UFC employee that has as much pro experience in the boxing ring as I do. Zero, nothing. And I'm going to get into that because the tail of the tape is absolutely horrible when you look at this. Tyson Fury is 33-0 and has one draw to his resume. He has 24 knockouts. He's fought over 200 rounds in the sport, in his boxing career in the sport. And he's the reigning defending WBC heavyweight champion. Then you look at Francis Ngannou. How many pro fights has he fought as a professional boxer? Zero. How many pro fights have I had as a professional boxer? Zero. So, and he's never fought a round in a professional boxing ring, and is now going to fight one of the biggest draws in the sport of boxing in Tyson Fury. This just doesn't sit right to me. And yes, like I just said a few moments ago, Tyson Fury, one of the greatest heavyweights of this generation. Francis Ngannou, one of the baddest heavyweights that UFC has seen over the last few years. But this is a different playing field. The sport of boxing is completely different from the sport of UFC. This is something, these hybrid fights got to stop. It's all because of Dana White, how this thing has truly started. When Floyd and Conor McGregor fought in 2017. This is a Conor and Floyd story all over again. When you had, back in 2017, when you had a dominant boxer one of the best, in my opinion, the best boxer of all time. He was at the end of his career, had nothing really else to accomplish. Improved everything why he was the best at his respective sport. Meanwhile, you had Conor McGregor, who was the up-and-coming most popular star in UFC, became a double champion, and Dana White wanted his boy to go get the money and run off and have his moment with in my opinion, the GOAT of boxing and Floyd Mayweather. These hybrid fights just don't work. We saw what happened between Floyd and Conor McGregor, which really should have been an exhibition. I get it. Conor McGregor was tagging Floyd, but Floyd was playing along. The more the rounds went on, the more cash that Floyd Mayweather was ultimately getting. We see the hybrid fights in boxing versus MMA today when Jake Paul takes on these ex-UFC employees. At the end of the day, when these hybrid fights happen, it's the MMA guy trying to get a big payday in the sport of boxing. And UFC fighters that have never had an experience of fighting at the boxing level, fighting in the sport of boxing, they get the massive payday, and the boxer always wins. And it would be the same way around if a boxer decided to get in the octagon, because it's not their respective sport. So this hybrid stuff has to stop. It has to stop. It's disrespecting both sports. And reality, there's nothing to really look forward to. And in my opinion, yes, a lot of people out there might say, oh, Francis Ngannou knew what he was doing. He's getting the payday. Like I said, in his last UFC fight, his payday was $600,000. Now, in this pro fight against Tyson Fury, he is going to make $8 million. That's a big, significant pay raise. But like I just said, UFC guys come over to the sport of boxing to get their big, massive payday of their careers. And this is exactly what we're going to see. There's nothing special to this. This is just nothing more than two big names that want to make money, and in Saudi Arabia gonna meet each other. This is nothing. This is, in my opinion, this is a circus event. This is a spectacle. This is just a big money grab. This is a heist for both respective men. And Tyson Fury at this particular point might take a hit in terms of legacy, because right now he's truly choosing currency. He's choosing, as I get tongue-tied, currency over legacy. And it's not even close, because if you wanted, this is the currency. He's going to get a big payday in Saudi Arabia against Francis Ngannou. It's going to be, like I just said, it's going to be a circus event. They're going to sell out that arena. They're going to sell out that stadium, wherever they do this at, in Saudi Arabia. And this is a spectacle. This is get the eyes on you. And this is how you do a currency fight. Big payday over having a legacy fight. Tyson Fury right now he's one of the best boxers in the world. Let's just tell the truth about it. He could be having a legacy fight, trying to reach the status of the likes of greatest heavyweights of all time, with the likes of Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, and several others of the heavyweights that have came and gone. Instead, he's taking a big payday fight, currency, instead of the legacy, where he could be fighting Alexander Usyk by the end of the year, and for an undisputed championship fight to become the first ever heavyweight champion, the first ever undisputed heavyweight champion in the four-belt era in boxing. He could be fighting Anthony Joshua, a big-time fight. The two biggest stars in UK that have to offer, that country has to offer in the sport of boxing. That is a dream fight that has been going on for years. The fight that we wanted to see. He could be fighting Andy Ruiz, who is no slouch at all in the heavyweight division, former heavyweight champion himself. Instead, we're seeing Tyson Fury care about the money more than the legacy. That's my thoughts on it. That's how I feel about this situation. Again, Tyson Fury should rightfully be stripped of the WBC title, because he's holding the rest of the heavyweight division down and he's holding them hostage. And those are my thoughts on Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou being announced. But that's all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.